here at Memphis Motorsports Park at NASCAR Nationwide Series. Green flag pit stops for those cars that did not stop earlier. They have got to come now, and boy, do they need them. The tires have been a huge difference maker so far in this race. David Strimmy has come in. He started second. He'll take the 4 tires and be thankful to get them because the times have dropped off like the edge of the building with those cars that don't have the fresh rubber. He's been good off the trailer, and he'll have to hope that the tires pay off for him down the stretch here. Mike?
Jason Leffler now on pit road. He's been tight center, a little bit loose off. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment, adding 1 pound to the right rear. Also, they were calling for a wedge adjustment, but I did not see the wrench go in. They may have called that off as they're going to work now on the left side. A 4-tire change on the 38. Vince?
Stephen Wallace in as well, the teammates with David Strimmy. Both he and Strimmy have been rock solid all weekend. 4 tires and wedge for Wallace.
Meanwhile, Carl Edwards continues to motor around this track, and the only thing that these guys that are now stopping can hope for is that all those other cars that stopped back on lap 29, that this race stays green so that they have to cycle through.
One of the things these guys have to be very careful of. These guys with sticker tires are going to be so much faster than the guys that don't have them. You got to watch out. You don't want to run over nobody.
That's Mike Wallace. Let's check in with Mike Massaro. The 47's in.
And a quick 4-tire change for Mike Wallace. He's away.
And we're getting word that the 29 is going to get a pass-through penalty for Scott Wimmer, so that is bad news. He pitted during the commercial break, so Wimmer, and we're seeing that most guys are losing between a lap and a half and 2 laps during these green flag stops. And here comes the 99 of David Rudiman, so he peels off.
You got to be very careful with getting on the pit road and speeding.
Shannon?
This 99 car is just a little bit loose at the start of the run. He's looking for more grip. This is your defending race winner. They're going to try to fix him up with some air pressure. Of course, 4 tires, because we've seen how valuable those tires are to those guys out on the track.
Well, the only guy left as we're watching this go on, Shannon, is Mike Bliss, and he is still running in second place and has not made his stop yet. So Rudiman gets out in 14.9.
These guys are going to have to run another 30 laps. We're going to have a handful of guys on the lead lap.
Vince, Kelly Hamlin's coming your way.
That's right, Kevin Hamlin has, remember, he stopped earlier as well, so they took on the 4 tires on that first stop on lap 30, and he had been told by Brad Parrott that he was the second fastest car on the track. They had debated whether or not they were going to come for tires during this stop, but they are indeed taking on 4 fresh ones. Shannon?
Vince, Clint Boyer very unhappy with this car. It is so tight. Expect major changes. You see that wrench in the back window. They're definitely going to try to loosen this car up for Clint Boyer. He's been pretty quiet on the radio. He said, I have nothing good to say.
And here comes the 18 of Mark Davis. Davis had already lost a couple of laps as he makes his pit stop. He is now further down in the field. As Shannon, he's coming your way.
Mark Davis in that 18 car. The car's just a little bit tight in the center. This guy qualified great for this race in his very first nationwide debut. He said the car was great. I asked him, how's the driver? He said, the driver's good too. 4 tires for this 18 car.
And the green flag racing continues here at Memphis. The 25 is in, Mike.
And Bobby Hamilton Jr. in now as they go to work on the right side of that car. Bobby looking for a little bit more forward bite. As we mentioned at the top of the show, this is a very important race for Hamilton and Team Renzi Motorsports. Their future may depend on having a very strong run here. Team going to work down the left side, a 4-tire change, also an air pressure adjustment on the 25. Now off the Jackson away.
And while that was going on, we can tell you that Joey Logano has gotten around Mike Bliss and taken over second position. But Bliss is still out there. He and Landon Castle. Here comes Wimmer for his pass-through penalty.
That is the longest pit road to this cat right now, Russ. He's like, oh, man.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I'll tell you one thing, guys. There's so many haves and have-nots out there right now. It's going to be tough to keep up with the timing and scoring because these guys are passing each other so fast, it's unreal. And now he gets another pass-through penalty. Wimmer is fast again. You see the frustration on the crew chief, Pat Smith.
Well, if you're going to shoot yourself in one foot, I guess you might as well shoot both.
Unbelievable. Must have a tack reading off, a tachometer reading, something. Just killing this Richard Childress team. Here comes Landon Castle.
Landon Castle. Now remember, this is his first pit stop, and here we are working lap 119.
We have 5 guys on a lead lap right now.
Mike Bliss still out there. He has yet to make his pit stop. And Bliss is coming in now. That's the second car on your screen. So let's send it to Vince Welch first.
Well, Landon Castle is coming, and pitted right behind Landon Castle in the 5 car will be the 1 car of Mike Bliss. Both of these guys have been out the entire time. 4 tires and fuel, and for Bliss, the car has been perfect. As you see, just behind the 5 car is the 1 of Bliss. No chassis adjustments necessary. They're just putting on 4 fresh tires, and away he will go in the 1 car.
So it looks like, as this continues, everybody now has cycled through on the pit stops, and there is the 88, Brad Keselowski. Of course, he had a problem. Shannon, what's the latest there?
Well, the car's pretty good for Brad Keselowski. 4 tires on this pit stop. He's just trying to hold on to that track position that he's got right now.
Yeah, he's already 3 laps down, though, and this won't help as these green flag stops finally begin to cycle through. We've run 86 laps green. We didn't make but 19 at all.
Oh, I can't believe what we're seeing. That's a good thing, too. I mean, these guys are really doing a great job driving out there right now. Good job out of everybody.
Hey, Jimmy.
And pretty soon, this thing should cycle back around where a lot of guys should get back on the lead lap again if Edwards and Logano, Green, and Miller hit their pits anytime now.
Jarrett Johnson comes in an 18th position for his pit stop, Mike.
And he's pretty happy with the race car, although they had kind of a difficult time in qualifying. We're unable to get out on the racetrack in time for qualifying. We're forced to start at the back of the track. Now the hood goes up. Not exactly sure what that is. Haven't heard much over the radio regarding that. We'll check into it and get back to you, Marty.
Well, I thought I heard him say,
check
he's on the brakes, check the brakes. Yeah.
Well, I just saw him going into turn 1 a little while ago, guys. Before he got ready to pit, he was all over the racetrack. It looked like a flat tire almost. He was holding on for that baby. I mean, holding on by dear life. He was sliding around a lot.
You said one of the keys was brakes in this deal because you can wear them out here at Memphis. All right, let's reset the top 5 for you. It is Carl Edwards, Joey Logano, Mark Green, then Chase Miller. They're the only 4 on the lead lap. First car a lap down is the 28 of Kenny Wallace in 5th.
It's just amazing. This, who would have thought?
Oh, we got a spin. Clint Boyer. Can he keep from making contact? He's off the wall.
They haven't put it out yet.
Still no yellow yet. And now it's out. Our 3rd caution of the day at the midway point of the race as we're working lap 125 of 250.
And boy, that was big for Edwards, Logano, Green, and Miller. There's only 4 guys on the lead lap right now. Everybody else is a lap or 2 laps down. That was big because they were getting ready to hit pit road in about 5 laps.
Make it 5 because Kenny Wallace will get the Aaron's lucky dog and he'll get to come around. So we'll have 5 cars on the lead lap. Take a look.
He went down into turn 1, tried to get underneath the 11 of Scott Lagasse, who has a borrowed crew chief this week from Joe Gibbs Racing, and just pinched himself off and then turned it around. This is what Carl Edwards needs, is for these guys to have a bad day so he can make up a lot of points.
The last time we were here, they ran 19 laps and they kept spinning out, couldn't get past that. This time, these guys are over. They run almost 100 laps before the caution came.
So they can do it.
They can do it.
That's right.
And I tell you what, you got to hand it to Goodyear. Goodyear brought a great tire to this short track. Whatever they brought, they better stick with it. We're here, and it's the Richmond tire. And that tire has always been good at that Richmond racetrack.
So, as we finally get to catch our breath through a hectic round of green flag pit stops, as we pointed out, we'll now have 5 cars on the lead lap when Kenny Wallace gets the wave by to get back around.
Who would have ever believed? Now, Brian Keselowski's all the way up to 7. I thought it was Brad for a second. I apologize.
Brad's is way over.
Yeah, Brad fell back. He had to change a sway bar, lost 2 laps, and he's struggling. He's 3 laps down right now.
But remember, Brian had his best finish ever here last year, came home in 10th.
That's right.
Yeah, but right now he's only 1 lap down. He's running in 7th. And
What's
Carl Edwards just going to come down pit road right now. And here he comes down to pits. He's just going to come on in, put 4 tires, and put some gas in that baby, and he is looking good right now.
He had a half of a track lead on Joey Logano.
And there comes the Ford Derek Cope. I'm waiting to see who else will be coming in.
Joey just hit pit road.
Remember, the last time Carl pitted was lap 29, and here we are on lap 26. And there is Joey Logano. And let's send it to Mike Massaro.
And Joey Logano, as we mentioned earlier, loose in, loose off, a little bit tight in the center. They're going to try to correct that with a wedge adjustment and an air pressure adjustment, a 4-tire change on the 20. Vince?
On the 60 car of Carl Edwards, they're going with 4 tires and fuel, and they put on scuffs. As Drew Blickensderfer said, I want to save my stickers for the end.
So, Carl, there is the 70 car. Shannon, let's get an update there.
Mark Green gives up third to come down pit road. He says he just needs a little bit more grip. They did make a wedge adjustment. They're going to take 4 tires for this 70 team. And guys, they said that this car is good to go.
You see the smoke in the background. That's from Morgan Shepherd's car, as he was looking like he was spraying mosquitoes, but it looks like it's cleared itself out.
I think his motor got flushed.
Did it? That's not good. Anyway, we are going to take a break as we're going to catch our breath as we're under our 3rd caution. Would you believe it? And we are now 92 laps of green flag racing. Our long